feels so good tonight. Who cares about tomorrow? So, baby, you'd better believe I'm back in the New York groove. I'm back in the New York groove, back with the Asbury Motorsports Sports Car Challenge Series coming at you live. Skippies, MX-5s, SRFs warming up now for round 8 of 12 in this inaugural season of action. Watch it all now from Green Flag to Victory Donuts live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Welcome back for another GSRC broadcast. Back in the USA with my good friend and colleague Dawson Never Say Die Brock, Joseph Ringrose reporting for Pit Lane this evening, and Joe Peak at the helm today, keeping us far from Niagara Falls reach, armed with the cameras located and aimed, zoomed, focused by our GSRC camera guru, Dougie Beard. Now, last week, Jeroen Nursom earned his first victory in this series, and Kane Lasky and C-Love would find the top of the podium in their respective divisions. Speed and precision were the name of the game at Suzuka. Can this field find a way to tackle the Glen in the dead of winter here in the Northern Hemisphere? Dawson, Watkins Glen is such a landmark on the motorsports scene. Why don't you bring us in with what you know about the track?
Well, Sean, Watkins Glen is located in Watkins Glen, New York, just at the southern tip of Seneca Lake. In 1956, the permanent circuit was open. Before that, public roads in the village were used. Except for a few changes, the circuit's current layout has more or less been the same since 1971. The track's history isn't limited to racing. The circuit also has been the site of many music concerts, including the 1973 Summer Jam, when 600,000 fans came to see the Allman Brothers Band, the Grateful Dead, and the band. But today it's about racing, where drivers will need to negotiate 7 corners over 2.45 miles or 3.94 kilometers of asphalt and concrete. Let's take a ride around the Glen in the GSRC Skippy and get a better picture of what this track is like.
Alright, we've got Samuel Ryman in the GSRC Skippy, so let's do a lap around Watkins Glen. We're going to plunge steeply downhill into turn 1, which is called the 90. This is easily the most important corner on the track, but also a good passing zone. You'll see lots of runoff to your left, but it's still possible to push too hard, understeer, and lose tons of time. And that's why this turn is so critical, because as we head up the S's, you'll notice we never lift off the gas. Whatever momentum you carry or don't carry off of turn 1 is going to haunt you all the way to the carousel. Once you hit the top of the hill, here's where it gets really interesting. These cars carry a huge draft around here, and any driver within half a second of you is going to be able to pull alongside and possibly even attempt to pass. Expect drivers to have to think strategically if they don't want to have to swap places back and forth every lap. Now we tackle the carousel. This corner is almost a full 180 degrees, and it's got quite a lot of banking. But because of how long it goes on, you really don't want to stamp on the power too soon, because once again, you'll understeer off into the grass on the exit. This track is so simple, and this car lacks so much power, it's all about carrying every bit of momentum out of every corner around here. Now comes Indianapolis. You won't scrub off a whole lot of speed, and you need to be as precise as you can on the apex to really use that groove. Don't put your wheels in the dirt because the walls get very tight here. And finally, there's the last turn, which starts to feel like a street course with the way you have to take it right up to the tire barrier. But if you manage not to plow into that, all you need to do is straighten the car and carry it to the line as you finish a lap around Watkins Glen.
Now that was Sam Ryman behind the wheel and Joe Peak on the mic with your GSRC lap guide in the Skippy on the classic circuit. Now basically what happened was we showed up to the track, we did our lap guide. Joe didn't want to spend the $20 to open the bus stop, so that inner loop, turn 5A if you want, okay, it was close, so we gave you the classic circuit there without the inner loop, but we will have that inner loop in play today. And boy, always action there no matter what car you've got on this track. Now usually this is the point we'd go through the points, and but I'm sad to report that Poindexter and Schuster decided to go snowmobiling in Connecticut for the week, so we're going to have to catch up with you next week on the points. So with that, I take it to Dawson, who wants to share the details of this event with you right now.
All right, well, all these races are timed, so we get to race against the clock. Most are 45 minutes, but 3 of the races will be 60 minutes. Each car has enough fuel for just over 30 minutes, so once we get past the halfway marker, we will be looking at pit stops more than likely. The MX-5 is limited to 35% of fuel, the Skip Barber is limited to 62%, and the Spec Racer Ford to 43%. There is no incident cap. We are using the same rules for MPI as MWT. No quick repairs. The car you come with is the car that's going to have to stay, and we will have rolling starts, but the grid is going to take whatever the fastest time at the top and the slowest time at the bottom. Cars will be intermingled throughout there, so very interesting starts as always.
And you know what? We've got a great balance here of cars. We've got 19 drivers this week, and the numbers are back up, and everybody excited to be here at the Glen. The Skippy, 7 of those. SRFs, we've got 7 of those. We've got 5 MX-5s, so a nice balance throughout this 19-car field, and some really, really fast drivers in it. In fact, as qualifying goes right now, you see on screen there Joe McDonald. Joe right now second quick in the MX-5s. Sonny Canchino on the provisional pole finds himself buried in the middle of all the Skippies trying to get laps in right now. So Sonny right up there, fourth overall in time here. So Canchin back this week, already flexing his muscle early here in qualifying.
Yeah, and we've come to expect that from Sonny Canchin. We know he's really fast, and he's going to be up there competing with Skip Barbers. Now, as a rule, the Skippy is a little bit faster than that MX-5, but Sonny Canchin, man, one talented driver to be able to put up a 25.7. Great time there. How about Luke Witten right now? He's sitting second. He's actually out on track on your screen. He had the quickest time in practice at a 1:24.6. So it'll be interesting to see if he can maybe carry that through and get another quick lap in just before qualifying ends. Here we got about 3 minutes left.
We do, and I will tell you that if you look up there, you see the weather on track right now. It's partly cloudy, but it is 106 degrees on this track. That is blistering here at this facility. I honestly think that could present a problem, certainly in the inner loop and down in the 90 here. Turn 6 could even maybe get a little scary. It possibly in that MX-5 if they can't keep it tight, turn 6 could get really scary out there off to the right. So it should be interesting to see how these cars match up today. A lot of speed here at the Glen. That trip through the S is very, very fast, and the back straight obviously going to be a great opportunity for some passing and some action down in the inner loop, Dawson.
Yeah, we've always seen with these Skip Barbers and how much of a tandem car they are, and by that I mean how they get into that draft and get a massive run, and they'll switch in and out. We've seen it plenty of times. Kanta, Witt, and Lasky, all them guys will be up at the front, and they'll be flopping positions throughout the entire race. And I would expect to see the same thing here. We have a pretty long front stretch, and running up to the S's and into the bus stop, plenty of room to get drafting, and plenty of, I guess, lead changes. That's what I'm going to be expecting today.
Now, this is a 15-minute qualifying session, 4 laps allowed. Just about everybody got those laps in. See a couple cars in the pit with just 3 laps on the totem there. But Ed Doherty in his SRF finds himself currently on the provisional pole. Took only 3 laps, a 1:27.2. And just in comparison, Jeroen Ursum's time, who finds himself 4th provisionally in the MX-5s right now, a 1:27.1. So those cars only split by a 1/10 of a second there. That's going to be very, very competitive. And then, like I said, you've got Canchin up there still buried in the middle of the Skippies. This is going to be an interesting start to this race, Dawson.
Yeah, we've seen it. They're normally really clean here in this series. A lot of good drivers, so I don't expect for it to be too many problems. I think Sonny mixed up with, man, you're going to have 4 other Skippies starting right behind him. I think that'll be an area that I'll be watching on the start.
Well, and the start is what we're getting here, too, in just a moment. I'll tell you what, like we said, last week was a bit of a challenge. This week, we're looking for some fun racing here at the Glen for 45 minutes today. You like anybody here, Dawson?
Boy, Luke Whitten's practice time was pretty good. It could have easily been with a little bit of draft or something like that, but I'm going to go and say Luke Whitten picks up the win here today.
Going to go with a hard-hitting Luke Whitten. Boy, I'll tell you what, that's not a bad pick. You know, in the skippies, I think Kant is going to be very, very hard to beat here today. And with Sonny Canchin being back, always tough not to pick him. When it comes down to the SRFs, you know what? It's a big field. You know, C. Love really, really put in a good effort last week. Maybe look for him to find himself to the top of the podium this week. Now let's go to the grid. Everybody lined up, getting on the grid now. Here's get ready to start this race. Enzo Canta going to lead him off along with Luke Whitten. Kane Lasky and his Skippy will start third. Now, Sonny Canchin going to start there on row 2. He'll be the first MX-5 on the grid in 4th overall. Jared Irvine, 5th. Cameron Gridley going to start 6th. Rob Adams there on row 4 and 7th. Jub Wupker in 8th. Joe McDonald, your third Skippy there in 9th. And Sebastian Nafjes is going to start there in 10th, Dawson.
Jerome Ursum going to start just outside the top 10 in 11th. Edward Doherty going to be your first SRF. He'll start 12th. Steve Ray 13th. C. Love 14th. Angelo Fiorino going to start 15th. Gary Wobolt 16th. Paul Barbuza 17th. Jeffrey Gambrell 18th. And Richard Vallee going to round out the field.
All right, and Richard Valley there sitting in 19th, 19 cars today. Like I said, a really nice balance in this field. Boy, look for things to get sketchy quick, though. When they get unleashed, it will basically be it will be in the final turn when they're unleashed and that pace car finds its way down pit lane. We will take one lap around. It won't take too long here. Everybody has a chance to get settled in one last time before we get going. We'll take one quick scenic trip around Watkins Glen. I have a feeling, Dawson, it's going to get crazy quick.
Yeah, I think you'll see it right away. You know, they'll go into turn 1, come out, and then you'll get to them S's. I think we're going to see a lot of action happen right there on lap 1.
Real quickly, we'll go to Joseph Ringrose. Joseph, what are you looking for as far as pits? When do you think they'll be coming in today?
Well, usually we'll probably expect most of the guys to come in around 2/3 into the race. That's the same for all 3 classes. So yeah, usually just fuel, no repairs as we said. So be interesting to see. Maybe someone makes an early jump.
Yeah, damage repair on these cars can take a long time, so you don't want to lose that time in the pits. All right, so Enzo Canta, Luke Whitten get to start this race off from the front. Sonny Canchin going to have to be careful there. He's going to be surrounded by all his skippies trying to come through. They didn't have the speed in qualifying. Will they have better race pace? That's what we're about to find out. Everybody heading through the inner loop here. And that's as calm as you're going to see it, folks. We won't be stopping for any NASCAR cautions here. This will be non-stop action. And, you know, Dawson, when I talked about the weather and how hot it was on track, 106 degrees, this straightaway right here, where we're going through now, down to turn 6, this could be a great passing opportunity, but only the best are going to be able to hold that line down to the inside as they make that left-hander into 6. Anything but the inside of this, you're washing out into some pretty tricky territory there off to the right. But here we go. Everybody getting ready. The Porsche is on his way. The roof pace car on his way here to the final turn. And then he will duck into the pit stops. We get ready to start here in the SCCS. Here we go. Canta already getting himself out to the front there. Whitten going to come alongside. And the green flag is out. Here we go. We are underway. 45 minutes of action coming your way. The Skippy's off to a great start. It's going to be Canta getting to the front. Luke Whitten right behind him. Luke going to look to the inside. Going to back off. Almost 3 wide here going to the end of the 90. Oh! Whitten gets pushed to the outside. He's okay. Maybe some wheel damage. We'll see. He gets back up. He's still squirrely out there in the grass, and now he's in the wall.
Oh, no. Yeah, definitely
Wow.
some wheel damage there.
Irvine, Lasky, side by side as they get out of the S's. Sonny Canchin back there. He gets through all of that. Rob Adams just in front of him. But already here, Enzo Canta getting to a big jump up on the back straight here into the inner loop for the first time. Canta coming down to the carousel section here now, making it look easy for Canta. Everybody else scrambling behind him. Lasky holding off Irvine.
C Love spun around in the back.
Oh, wow. There goes my pick. C Love already having trouble. Look at Cancha go. Sebastian Nafjes right there with him. Nafjes into this battle now. Look at him get the run on the skippies here. Turn 6. Setting up 7. And Sonny's hanging in there all the way out into that rumble strip, but first across the line is going to be Canta, already opening this up to a 2.6 second lead. He's into the 90 clean. Everybody else, they're going to go 3 wide. Is that going to work? No, it's not. Oh. Wow. Wubker right in the middle of that. Look at everybody scrambling. Joe McDonald. McDonald gets away clean. So does Cameron Gridley. Man, this what a crazy start. Second lap, even crazier there as everybody tried to get through the 90 and up into the S's.
Yeah, and as all that was happening, Edward Doherty also had a little bit of problems. He got spun around, but it looks like he's still on track, and so is C Love. So both of them are still out on track. Their days are not completely over yet.
Luke Witten, apparently problems for him. I'm showing that car in the pit. Joe McDonald in this battle right here. Joe trying to keep it on track side by side. Joe going to go a long way around. He's going to have position in the next turn, though. Keep it on the inside. Great job by McDonald there to take the position from Cameron Gridley. McDonald sitting second to Canchin in the MX-5s right now. Now, I wonder if things have settled down just enough that we can go to the replay here, what happened on the opening lap. Here we go. Here we go, Dawson. We got that coming at you right now. There's the start of the race. Green flag is dropped. Everybody racing down into the 90. We'll see Witten here. This is what put Witten in the pit, that wheel hop. He was not able to recover from that. It went all bad from there, out in the grass, then back off into the track, and then back to the grass again, into that wall. He stops it and takes the toe in. Witten still finds himself there. We had trouble for Nafjes on track. Okay, we caught Irvine's incident the very next lap there. It's basically a 3-wide situation. It just did not work out. Everybody comes down together here, and hard hit there. Long recovery. 4 cars in the pit already here early in this race. Dawson, lots of action on track. Things still trying to sort themselves out. You see Sonny Canchin now sits second overall, first in the MX-5s. Canchin laying down the power early here, Dawson.
Yeah, he's right now under pressure from Kane Lasky. I have a feeling Lasky will probably work to get around him, or Canchin will give him the room being the slower car. But boy, this is just really impressive what Sonny's able to do here, running with these guys. Rob Adams just behind Kane, and I mean, he's keeping pace with them.
Man, Sonny just drifting that Mazda through the inner loop there, real precision. He actually pulled away from them in the inner loop there, Dawson.
Yeah, I think the skippies are a little faster on the straights, but boy, Sonny he hits his line right, and he's able to just apex the turn and get through really smoothly.
Yeah, I think you said it best right there. The only chance they're really going to have of catching him is in the straights. but is there enough straightaway to get it done? And he continues to put distance between himself and Lasky. This has allowed Kanta to find himself now almost 4 seconds to the good over Sonny and over Kane. Now he's 4.5 seconds back to Kane Lasky. So Enzo Kanta just allowed to drive right now. Enjoy the comfort of being out there alone as we've taken care of now 6 minutes of this race. Things really starting to settle down. Well, we haven't talked much about the SRS, but right now Steve Ray doing a great job. The Texas driver in the wake of Jeff Wubker right now, kind of at the end of this train. It's a good opportunity to share some of that air, get a little more speed, open it up on Angelo Fiorino right now, who finds himself in second. Gary Wohlbolt separates him from Richard Valley. Valley, who started in the back of this field, finds himself up in a podium position already. Look. Mazda MX-5 action, though, through the inner loop. Joe McDonald, Jeroen Ursum, side by side through the inner loop. And then you've got the SRF of, Steve Ray back there, and the Skippy of Jeff Wubker. So all three classes represented here, fighting hard, going up the back straight to the inner loop. Going up the straightaway to turn 6. Joseph, you got some information on Daugherty. What happened?
Yeah, he came down pit road just 2 laps ago and has managed to find himself back out on track. So still seems to be some damage on that car, so not fully repaired, but he's back on circuit.
Yeah, tough track to have to deal with damage, but we'll see how we can do here over the next 37 minutes or so. So that leaves what? We've got 3 cars left in the pits after that in the early stages of this race, but off to a good start here. Kanchan sliding in behind Lasky. This good for Kanchan here? Is he playing it safe, Dawson?
I mean, you know, he's got such a lead right now that he doesn't have to play it too hard. But I know he's not content. He wants to run with these skippies, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Sonny make a move on Kane.
Kieran Gridley has had a problem. Cameron Gridley got it on the replay here. Looked like it was coming down the straight here.
Just gets it sideways.
He does, and he gets into that tire barrier, picks up a little bit of damage, some side pod damage. Hopefully the aero good enough to hold up.
It looked like he just hit that second curving there in the bus stop just a little bit too much, and the car didn't like it.
Oh, and it looks like Fiorino had a big problem. Angelo Fiorino. Joseph, were you caught up with that? What happened?
Yeah, he came down pit road, huge damage to his SRF, and yeah, that's his call for the day. End of the race for Angelo Fiorino.
Wow, tough to see that. Hot action back on track. Jeroen Ursum being tracked down by Jeff Wubker here. Joe McDonald just behind them. You see that SRF of Steve Ray right back there. Steve still hanging on to the toe here. These three having a lot of fun. Jeroen got him in the mirror right now, riding high on that win from last week. See, Dawson, what you missed? You went away, and Jeroen Ursum gets a win.
Oh, man. Well, good for Jerome. You know, he's always been a really solid driver. I mean, and he's kind of overlooked because of how good Kanchan is. But Jerome is a very good driver, and he shouldn't be overlooked as much as he is.
Boy, I'm trying to decide whether Wubker is helping this or hurting this. But McDonald being very, very careful with how he handles Wubker. Gets to the inside here as they head to the 90. And got to hold it in there. Joe does a great job of holding it down on the bottom. Wubker with a decent run off the top there on the outside. He's got enough momentum to stay there with McDonald through the S's. This will be tough for McDonald here on the outside. Cranking on that wheel to get through there. Wubker, it's going to be a drag race to the inner loop. Still great action from these two. Jur and Ursum not worried about it. There we go. McDonald finally gets through that inner loop first. Looks like Wubker maybe let off just a bit, but there comes Steve Ray. Steve Ray able to catch up now to Wubker. I'm sorry, Jeff Wubker.
I think this battle will be good all day. Ursum and McDonald going to fight for that second podium spot here in the MX5 class.
Yeah, I think the pit stop is the only thing that's going to separate those four right now, or of course a mistake. Let's check back in up front. Kanchan still in first, obviously in class. He's worked his way back to second overall. Kane Lasky there, sitting third, second in the Skippies. Enzo Canta is still in the lead of this race. His gap continues to open. He's now dropped Sonny 6.4, 6.6 seconds for Kane Lasky. And Enzo seems to have been prepared for this one, Dawson.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of a tough break with Luke Witten crashing out. He looked, at least on the time boards, that him and Jared Irvine were going to give him a little bit of a run for the money, but it's too bad. But I mean, Enzo, you got to know now, man, you're out in front. Nobody to really challenge you. You got to keep that car clean and just hit your apexes.
I think we've had another car just return to the track. Actually, I'm seeing Sebastian Navejes getting back on track with his MX-5.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Lasky and Adams heating up here. This is for second in class. Adams been putting in the work here to catch Lasky. He's got there. Now what can he do with it? This is where you see him get the run out of the 90 here. Hold the line tight. On board with Lasky. Looking through that wing, back at his competition. Lasky does not want to give up this position to Adams. Adams getting a run on him here up through the S's. He's definitely in the tow, Dawson.
Yeah, now Lasky he's right next to Sonny Kanchan. He's going to make a move on Kanchan here going into the bus stop.
Kanchan going to take it first. Lasky going to let off there. You just can't do that entry side by side, Dawson. That's a death sentence.
No, and especially this early in the race. I hate going through there too wide, even in pacing laps. So, yeah, way too early to try and attempt that.
Yeah, Jared Irvine was another one of those cars that actually got back out on track after some damage repair. He back on track in his Skippy. So right now, actually, we only have two cars down in the pit lane. And I think two of them actually, two or three of them actually behind the wall right now. On board here with Kanchan. You see just a little bit of tow, but not enough to get inside and make a move. Kanchan with a good run there through the right-hander. Got to defend up through the S's here. The Mazda obviously a little bit wider than that Skippy. You see the trouble Kane Lasky having to try and present the car to get up alongside. Finally does it as they get out of the S's there, Dawson. Here we go, down to the inner loop.
Same situation as last lap. Let's see if Lasky sticks in it. He does. Woo! Just getting past Sonny Kanchan.
Let's look at the replay of that real quick, Dawson. We'll take it from above. And there you see Lasky come up alongside of Kanchan. Don't forget about Rob Adams right there in the green car. He's there watching this all unfold. And he just takes it. He didn't
Neither
let
one
up
of
that time.
Yeah, no, neither one of them let up that time. They were wow.
They're still going at it on track. Both just now getting across the line. Canchin actually going to let Rob Adams come through here also. This should be fun. Back down into the right-hander. Good action there. More action through the field, though. See Joe McDonald has gotten by Drew and Ursum.
McDonald running a little bit wide.
McDonald with a bobble there by McDonald. Look at Steve Ray back there in his SRF. He's still hanging on to this battle here, Dawson.
Yeah, and Jeff Wubker just making his way past McDonald. Now he's got Jerome Ursum under pressure. All four of these guys right next to each other. McDonald making a move.
Gotta love this. Here goes old McDonald up the inside. I'm not going to take credit for this, but I'm loving it. McDonald through that inner loop. Dawson, look who got through the inner loop there and finds himself now behind Joe McDonald. Steve Ray getting his SRF there in front of the Skippy. Dropping Drew and Ursum even. Seems like Steve Ray hooked up in his little SRF this week.
Yeah, you guys got to remember that SRF is technically like the slowest car that we have out of all three classes. So Steve Ray doing a great job to get this car all the way up to 6th overall.
He's been smooth. He's been wheeling it. We do have a battle here for second place though in the SRFs. A good one. Richard Valley trying to hold off C Love. C Love trying to recover from his early trouble. Still finds himself in a podium spot. See, he's getting the run on Valley. Here we go across the line. Down to the right-hander. Valley couldn't do anything with that. See, Love passes him like he's standing still. Love going to get into the 90 and out of the 90 and take second place. He's going to drive off now. So, did something happen to Valley? I don't see any damage on the car, Dawson. You just seem to slow down there.
Well, maybe let me go look back at that. I think Valley might have just gotten a really bad exit.
Another battle right behind him. Gambrel giving up position here to Paul Barbuza. I think I got that wrong. It was that Barbuza getting by Gambrel. My bad. Man, I messed that all up. It was Barbuza getting by Gambrel was the pass. But just up in front of them, it's Richard Valley who holds on to that third place spot right now. Valley trying to stay in the podium spot, but he's got chasers. There, that was the confusion. Barbuza was a lap down from Gambrel. I had it all mixed up on my timing and scoring. Apologies for that, folks, but we'll reel it back in here. Let's run back up to the front of the field. We've kind of lost contact with them. See what's going on. It's still Canchin being chased by Adams. Canchin still finds himself well in the lead of the MX-5s. He's got Rob Adams and Kane Lasky between him and Joe McDonald. McDonald 20.2 seconds back already from Canchin. That's the hill he has to climb. And with only 24 minutes left, that's going to be a tough one to get in here. Joseph, going to call on you real quick here. You think maybe that pit window is starting to open up for these guys here in just a few minutes?
Yeah, it shouldn't be too long. Probably expect to see cars in probably sort of next 5-10 minutes. As we spoke about at the start of the race, about 2/3 into the race, we should expect cars in. It's been pretty quiet down here for the past sort of 6-7 laps, but hopefully we should see some action down there soon.
Oh, and Jeroen Ursum has had a problem. Boy, it looks like he had a bad trip out of the right hand of the 90, turn 1. We've got a replay of it. He's going to spin by himself. Steve Ray going to be able to get through that. Here's Jeroen there in the My Little Pony car. Not afraid to say it. Looked like maybe he got up on that curb and didn't recover from it there, Dawson, and the My Little Pony goes around for a spin, but gets back out on track with any damage. Jeroen, of course, runs that for his daughter, that paint scheme. We're on board with Steve Ray.
Watch it, how good Jerome keeps it off the wall. He could have easily, had he not fought that car back, he would have been inside the on that right-hand wall. Just watch this. Kind of pointed towards that wall, and he just rips it back. Just in the nick of time.
Yeah, just in the nick of time, indeed. Hey, you know what? You need a little luck. Racing's not all about skill and performance. A little bit of luck is needed. Boy, I see Joe McDonald making his way down pit road. Joseph, what do you see?
Yep, he is the first guy to make the jump. We spoke about this just a couple of minutes ago. We should expect to see drivers in the pits, and Joe McDonald has made that call. Should be a pretty routine stop. There's a bit of damage on the car. I'll have to wait and see what happens there. I'll let you know when he's out.
See him taking left side tires there. And the right. So a 4-tire change there for Joe McDonald. Wow. And I wonder if it's the heat on this track just making those tires awful greasy. We'll see what times he can throw down. The hill got really big, though. That was a 47.7 second stop from cone to cone. It shoots him down the board, though. He'll cycle back out in 11th overall. Here's Lasky coming down, Joseph.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether the Skippy's having the same issues with tyres. Maybe the heat just gets into the tyres. 106 degrees. So we'll see whether it takes lefts and rights, or will it just be fuel? We'll wait and see here.
Does have a little bit of damage, I noticed there, Joseph, on the right front wing.
He does, yeah. No tyres left, so doesn't seem to be any repairs either. So he's back out.
Our SRF leader is in. Steve Ray coming down the pit lane. So, boy, the window opened quick, and a lot of our leaders decided, hey, you know what? Not a bad time. He's going to get away clean. C Love going to go to the lead.
I think Joe McDonald, I mean, looking at his times weren't dropping off that much. I wonder if he accidentally forgot to uncheck tires. So I don't know. We'll have to see if other MX-5s are making that same switch.
Boy, and Steve Ray comes back onto the traffic. Comes back onto the track. Traffic right in front of him. Paul Barbuza and Sebastian Nafjes having a little fun out there in the Mazda and the SRF. But here comes up behind him Steve Ray, fresh off his pit stop.
Sonny Canchin is down pit road. Yeah, he is taking lefts, definitely. We'll have to see if he's taking rights. So maybe these MX-5s struggling in the heat with the tyres.
Boy, and just left side tires taken for Sonny. Obviously, that's going to give him a bit of an advantage. Sonny making his way out of the pits. He's going to get out clean. Jeroen Ursum not able to catch him. Ursum now in second overall, or in second in the MX-5s. Being chased by Gary Wobolt. Those two still need to pit. Joe McDonald, he was the first one to come in those MX-5s. He finds himself back in fourth. Here's Joe. All by himself out there right now. He's got a little ways to go to catch them. Okay, so Richard Valley has retired from the race. Now, I think we found the incident that led to that. Let's pull it up here for you on the replay. Valley was fighting in his SRF there. We talked about him just a little bit ago. Oof, that is a hard hit. Knocked the whole front of that car off.
Same location as Jerome Ursum's spin.
Yeah, and you know, again, the hot track makes that 90 even trickier. That is just a tough turn, no matter how you slice it. Everybody has a different opinion. I think Jeffrey Gambrell just had trouble in the inner loop. It was a self-spin by Gambrell. Let's check out the replay. Let's see what happened there. Dawson, I think maybe he missed the entry just a bit, maybe got it a little bit hot. No, the entry to the inner loop, it was fine. It looks like it was the exit that he got a little bit squirrely, maybe back to the power a little bit too quick. Doesn't make any contact and gets back on the track clean.
Yeah, just going to lose a little bit of time. At least no damage for him. That's the plus out of all of that.
He is still hanging on to that podium spot. Gambrell sitting in third overall right now. Third overall in the SRFs. He overall in this race 12th. Still waiting for a lot of cars to come down. Jeff Wubker, I see him. Wubker is pulling off Joseph.
Yep, Wubker is in, and we've had another pitter from the MX-5, Jerome Ursum. But this time he is the first MX-5 not to make a tyre change, just fuel for Ursum there, even after his spin.
And I see he came out behind Joe McDonald, so Jeroen in chase mode right now. Looks like he's about 3 seconds back, maybe 2.5. Wubker going for a long stop there, Joseph.
Yeah, it was around 18 seconds for Wubker there, so no tyres though. But where's he going to come out? Who is that? Is that Gary? No, Wobolt is also in the pit lane, so, and he's not taking tyres. So yeah, that's interesting. So
okay,
2 MX-5 have taken tyres and 2 haven't.
So we definitely have some different strategies here at play. Obviously, Kanchan had the big lead, only took the left side tires. We saw Joe McDonald take all 4. Now, that currently still has him, he's sitting in second right now. Ursum in third. So we'll see what kind of battles that can provide. It's still the top of the SRF field, or I'm sorry, the Skippy field, that we haven't seen the leaders come in yet. Kanta, Adams, Lasky, the only one of those 3 to have come in. Cameron Gridley still up there needing his pit stop.
I've noticed just in a couple of races that these skippies like to stay out a little bit longer, and or at least wait until the absolute last second to where they have to pit. So they like to use their fuel up all the way to the end.
Yeah, and we're watching Sonny Kanchan on screen here follow Cameron Gridley, getting the most out of that draft. Finding extra speed in an MX-5. I see Cantor rolling down the pit lane now. Boy, Sonny just bouncing that car all over the place, going through the inner loop. Here they come down the pit lane. That's Kanta. And that was an SRF with him. That was C Love coming down the pit lane there with him. What's Kanta's strategy going to be here? I'm going to guess only fuel. Rob Adams keeps his Skippy out on track. Kanta pulling away. Kanta going to hang on to that second spot after the pit. Lasky not able to catch him. So now it's up to Rob Adams, our new leader. First overall, first in the Skippies. Rob's had a fairly quiet race here, Dawson.
Yeah, and I would suppose it's quiet in a good way. He's been pretty clean and doing a great job keeping that car in the right direction.
Afraid he's going to have to give it up, though, when he decides to come in for a pit stop. It's only 8.7 seconds. Back to Kanta. The real battle will be if he can get back out before Kane Lasky catches him. Lasky, I'm showing right now, 25.9 seconds.
You know, just looking through some of the field, Rob Adams started 7th and is now up to 2nd. So right now, one of your big movers.
Yeah, Adams right now looks to be pulling the long strategy here, Dawson, and you know, maybe a splash and go gets him back out, and you know, you give up position to Kanta, but maybe it keeps him in front of Lasky. Working for a strategy to gain maximum points today. The field is definitely spread out now because of these pits. Just a few cars left that have not taken the stop. Rob Adams, of course, one of them. Cameron Gridley still hanging on, 22 laps into his stint. Back down the field, Jeffrey Gambrell and Paul Barbuza still need to come in. There they are back there. Your SRF action. Barbuza leading Doherty, not by much. Let's check in on Jeroen Ursum here. Joe McDonald, remember, took those 4 tires, Dawson. Jeroen starting to lose a little pace to him, I think.
Yeah, you got about a 3/10 difference that last lap. So Jeroen just a little bit slower, but hopefully you can pace it up and get back to where we have a battle near the end of the race with the 2nd place MX-5.
There we go. Rob Adams is in. Enzo Kanta already around. We'll watch what Kane Lasky's doing here.
Looked like Cameron Gridley also ducked in right there at the back of the picture.
Lasky in the 90 now. And he's going to pass Adams by a bunch. Adams going to go back to 3rd. Still hanging onto the podium. Cameron Gridley is now in the pit. So Adams will come out of the pits and he will be 3rd. 4th overall as Canchin got back in between. Okay, let's take the opportunity then to do a quick rundown with just a little over 10 minutes left in this race. Right now, it's Enzo Kanta, leader. 1st overall, 1st in the Skippies. Kane Lasky following him in 2nd. Then we've got, we'll go back to Rob Adams, 3rd in the Skippies. Cameron Gridley will cycle out to 4th. And Jeff Wubker will be your 5th place Skippy right now. That's your top 5 in the Skippies. Take the top 5 in the MX-5s.
Well, the obvious guy, the big mover so far, Sonny Canchin, he's out in front, 4th overall. So great run so far from him. Joe McDonald, he is currently sitting in 2nd. Jerome Ursum just behind him. Maybe we'll see a little battle shape out there. And then Gary Wobel will be sitting just outside the podium in the MX-5 waiting. If anybody makes a mistake, he could maybe see a podium finish today. And Sebastian Nefjes, he is still out on track 6 laps down, but Yeah, at least he's getting his money's worth for bringing the car to the track this week.
All right, let's go on to the SRFs, and that's where we find Steve Ray still in control of his destiny here in the Spec Racer Fords. And then you got to go back to C Love. C having a good race, but not any competition here for Steve today. And C finds himself in second. It's going to be Jeffrey Gambrell holding down third. Paul Barbuza fourth, and Edward Daugherty just came in the pits. He'll fall back to fifth. Looks like Daugherty has gotten out of the car. So while all that was happening, apparently we missed, and it was down in a 90 that Daugherty had trouble. Dawson, another victim there in the right-hander, and came across the track and into the pit wall.
Yeah, we've had a couple of cars have trouble there, but I know Daugherty's actually had a couple problems throughout the race. Early on he spun, and a couple other times throughout there. But boy, just a tough break for a guy who qualified right up near the top.
Yeah, I think we've got it right here. He's coming across the start-finish line down into the 90, and the rear end of the car is just going to break loose on him. That's exactly what we've seen from the other 2 or 3 incidents we've seen down there. Car just snaps. And that barrier, not very friendly.
And I think you were right on when you were talking about earlier with the track being so warm that exit especially becomes very difficult. Guys are trying to carry a lot of speed down that front straightaway, a hard braking zone, and a really sharp turn.
Don't count Jeroen Ursum out yet. I'm telling you, the guy, he's the miracle man right now. The big win last week, and boy, fighting back. I had just written him off. What was it, 2 laps ago? I'd written him off and said, you know what, it looked like he was losing ground to Joe McDonald, but not now. Closing minutes of this race, and Jeroen Ursum is up in the saddle, got the reins in his teeth, man, and just rolling. Look at this run he's getting on Ursum up out of the S's. Or the run that Ursum's getting on McDonald, coming up the inside here, looking for the advantage, going to the inner loop, Dawson.
Either one of them going to back out. It looks like McDonald's going to give him the room. Ooh, a little bit of grass for Ursum there. Going to cut that last. He might get a slowdown for that.
Run it out. Run it out. Ursum. Ursum. Yeah, this is not settled. Jeroen thought he had him. McDonald gonna fight back. McDonald's got his pitchfork at, and he's poking at him. Get out of the way! Get out of the way! McDonald got to be careful up there. He reels it in. Gonna complete the pass on Jeroen Ursum. So as quickly as Ursum got that position, Joe McDonald steals it back. McDonald back to second. Let's check the replay. We're going to watch Jeroen's move to take the position here in the inner loop.
I'm going to take the road a little less traveled. Just for a second.
Just doing a little maintenance on the grass there. Okay, so back to those two. Here we go. Out of the S's, and Jeroen Ursum again got the run. Got a little bit of toe, and he's gonna do a little slipstream on him there. Gonna beat him to the inner loop. Take the spot away again. It worked out a little bit better. Looked a little bit cleaner. I think everybody's happy with that. But this battle not over, folks. Not at all. 5 minutes to go. Probably about 4.5 laps. Everything's still set up front. Kant is still safe, and so is Sonny Canchin. This is one of the best battles we've got on track right now. Just in front of them, you've got Jeffrey Gambrell, who's struggled through this race. He's going to be in the middle of this battle here real soon as they come up the front straight. Not much time left now here, Dawson. Here.
Yep. You're getting into that time where, well, what time is it?
It's time to boogie, baby. let's get this party going here. I hadn't said that in a while, but I'll tell you what, Ursum looking over his shoulder. Here comes McDonald. Gambrel in the way. Ooh, McDonald getting a run. Yeah, Ursum not giving up the inside, though. That's his line through that inner loop. McDonald right up on the bumper. And these two showing how it's done right now. Good, clean racing here, Dawson.
Yeah, always good to see. And I've always loved Watkins Glen, you know. Great track for this type of two-car racing. You know, we've seen it in the Cup Series in real life. It's just a really nice track to, especially these guys are running that Cup configuration, so very alike.
All right, gone back to the front of the field right now. It's Kanta still in the lead, coming up on traffic. He's got Cameron Gridley right in front of him. All right, no, we're going to stay with this battle between Ursum and McDonald because they continue to go at it and swap positions. Shame on me from leaving a great battle. Boy, and they just won't quit. I hope this doesn't end in tears for both of them. Just approaching that 2.5-minute mark. Look at this side by side once again. Out of the S's, racing on the back stretch. Again, Jeroen Ursum has got that position he wants right there on the inside for his entry into the inner loop. Both of them just pick it clean, man. Like watching a symphony. Remember, McDonald Dawson is on those 4 fresh tires.
Yeah, and Ursum, not only is he on the older tires, but those are the same tires that he also had that spin on. So you got to think that them tires, really, really worn.
I think he's got those tires right where he wants them. Nice and greasy and just stuck to the track. If you could be greasy and stuck in the same sentence, he's doing it right now. Here comes McDonald again, though, fighting back. He's going to run out of straightaway. No, he's going to try and take it. Jeroen going to let him have it. Ooh. Oh, Ursum almost makes contact, backs out of it, gets back up out on the track in time, avoids the grass. Dawson, these two have been worth the price of admission. Again, you know, Jeroen, he's feeling a little cocky, man. He's, you know, he got that big win last week, and he's like, you know what? I've arrived. I'm not taking any business from you guys. Enzo Kanta about to get in the middle of this battle. Dawson, that's who you see there in the picture.
Boy, I mean, if I'm Kant, I got a big lead. I get out my popcorn and I just watch this one finish out.
Well, I tell you what, I think when they come across the line, it's going to be the white flag here. White flag is out. We're going to go on board Kanta. He's watching the battle here closely. Coming to the last turn now. You know what? A director just made note. I think Kanta's waiting here. I think he's going to let this battle happen. He's got nothing behind him that's really of concern. These two going at it so hard. Oh, now Kanta gets up there. He's got to keep his momentum up. He can't just stop on track, but this is an awful bad spot to catch this. Yeah. Ursum trying to give the space here. Jeroen's got to try and use this to his advantage. He's losing the toe, maybe starting to pick a little bit back up, but he's going to run out of track here when they hit the inner loop. It looks like McDonald's going to have the advantage. And their race is going to end behind Kanta. Ooh, McDonald getting a run there at the wing of Kanta. Well, we got to keep our eyes on Kanta because this is the white flag. Boy, and Ursum has lost contact, but here we go. Enzo Kanta coming through the last two turns now. 45 minutes he's been at this, and he's going to go green to checker here today in the SCCS. Oh, and a close moment there. Maybe just having a little bit of fun. He's waving at us. Enzo Kanta, the Italian, with the big win today. Here at Watkins Glen, Enzo Kanta. Let's go to Sunny Canyon. Second place looking pretty good. One turn left to go to figure it out. Canyon's been a real tactician today, and boy, it's going to look good on the mantle for him. He's going to take it. Another win for Sunny Canyon here at Watkins Glen and Steve Ray. And Steve's been nothing but solid today. Been in control of his machine and made it look easy at times, wheeling that SRF. Steve with a dominant run today. The Texan looking to take this win here. Got to be smooth and just finish it out. Steve basically had to run one more full lap to finish this race, but he will get the win. 2 turns left to go. Here comes Steve Ray, his SRF. Battled hard, was running with the Skippies and the MX-5s. Had a lot of fun today. He's going to come across the start-finish line. Your winner in the Spec Racer Ford, Steve Ray. The Texan victorious today here in New York. Upstate New York, the scene of the action today. Everybody having a little bit of fun down in a 90, hitting their victory donuts on mark. We will take a quick break and be right back with you here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. And we are back here on the Global Sim Racing Channel with the Asbury Motorsports Car Challenge Series. Watkins Glen in the books, 45 minutes of racing, 32 laps for Enzo Kanta today. Your big winner here as we run through the results. Enzo and his Skippy will take this big trophy here at the top of the podium. Kane Lasky will finish second in class. And second overall, Sunny Canyon, top of the MX-5s. Your big winner will finish third overall, first in class. Rob Adams with a podium finish in his Skippy. Third, Jeff Wubker, a good race from him. He'll finish fourth in the Skippies. Steve Ray, your big winner in the Spec Racer Fords, and a hard-fought victory for him. Very little trouble on the track for the Texan today, but a great win and a 6th place overall. Joe McDonald going to finish 2nd on the podium here this week. Jeroen Ursum back on the podium. He will finish 3rd, 8th overall. Cameron Gridley going to finish down there in 5th in his Skippy, 9th overall, and 10th overall, 4th in the MX-5s. It's going to be Gary Woolbolt. Dawson, take the rest, buddy.
Love and Jeffrey Gambrell are going to take the last 2 podium spots in the SRF. They're going to finish 11th and 12th. Paul Barbruzza going to finish 13th. Sebastian Nefjes 14th. Jared Irvine got caught up in a wreck. He's going to finish 15th. Edward Doherty 16th. Richard Vallee 17th. Angelo Fiorino 18th. And Luke Witten to round out the field.
All right, and again, a great race here today at Watkins Glen. But hey, listen, that's what we're used to seeing here at the Glen. And you know what? Enzo Canta is here. Enzo, congratulations on a great race today. You saw very, very little trouble on track today, and we didn't see you last week, but you're back with us, and well, you racked up a win. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. But you think it was easy for me? No, at all. Because when I am alone, I can do disasters. So because I can go on the wall alone without other cars around of me. So first of all, I'm very sorry for what happened to Luke in the first corner. I don't know if it was his mistake or other cars' mistake. I think it was a Luke mistake. He didn't look well at his right, and he did a corner as there wasn't no car there. So a very shame. But I was alone after the first corner, so I was. Already out of the draft because I had 1 second point 10 gap advantage, and so the only thing I could do it was to push hard as I can do in order to increase the gap and be sure to do my pit stopping completely relaxed, because the pit stop is also another place where I can commit mistakes. I was thinking that Sonny could work together with Rob and Kane in order to catch me using the draft, but I don't know if they didn't do this, because I think they will be able to do this. So yeah, for me it was only a question of concentration and not making mistakes. I almost died 2 times. I did 6 off track alone, so I had a bottle of beer near me, so sometimes I drank a bit of beer, because without that I could lost concentration.
Well, Enzo, always a pleasure to talk to you. I'm glad you made it back this week. And the next week we head over into the Netherlands and go to Zandvoort. You planning to be there with us for that?
I love Zandvoort. I raced there this week in the Lotus 49. I wasn't able to do better than the 3rd place, and I have to race in the regular championship skip tomorrow and in 2K Cup. But unfortunately, I think I will lose the race, because next week I will go to Milan for work, and so I have to lose the race. So see you the next 2 week. What's the race? 2 week.
2 weeks.
Road Atlanta.
Road
Okay.
Atlanta. Oh,
Road Atlanta.
okay. Yeah, it's a fun track, a tricky track. I think I have to practice a bit more, because I don't remember it very well. So I have to practice for Road Atlanta.
Now, Enzo, one final question, real quick, okay? Do you travel to Milan a lot for work?
No, not so many times. I live in Bari in the south of Italy. This week I have to go to Milan for a I work with a video games portal in Italy. The site is everyi.it. Is an important, one of the most important site in Italy. And no, I don't go to Milan so often. In the month of March, no, or April, I have to go there because I have to work in Salone del Mobile. I am a video maker, so I make videos for important brands.
Okay.
And I have to stay there, I think a week or 10 days. But I don't like Milan so much because there's not the sea. I have the sea here. And every time there is a bit of sun, I can get my Honda S2000 and take a little trip around here.
Okay. All right. One answer. Everybody knows the rules, okay? What is your favorite restaurant in Milan?
My favorite restaurant, McDonald's.
Okay, that's it. You don't get to change that answer. We're going to leave it at McDonald's.
No, the truth is that I don't remember the best restaurant where I have eat in the past. But if you are interested about this, the next time I will give you some advice.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. Enzo Canta, congratulations. We'll see you soon, my friend. Safe travels to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that was the always entertaining Enzo Canta. Steve Ray, you have caught up with Joseph Ringrose. Joe, take it away, buddy.
Yeah, very comfortable race for you today, Steve. Winning in the SRF class. Talk us through your race.
Yeah, that was a hell of a lot of fun, guys. It kind of shows what this league's all about. The first part was I knew I had to hang on to those guys, Joe and Jerome and Jeff. Those guys are just a little bit faster than the SRF, so I had to try to hold on to their tail, and we mixed it up. That was a lot of fun.
Indeed, it looked it from pit road. We move on to Zandvoort next week. How do you usually fare around that circuit?
Zandvoort, I don't have a whole lot of experience. Unfortunately, I won't be there. Saturday's my normal work day, so I took a vacation day to come out and have some fun today. So I don't get to come out with these guys and play too often, but when I do, it sure is a lot of fun.
Indeed, it was. Back to you guys.
All right, and again, congratulations to Steve Ray and his effort today. And boy, what a race! That battle there over the last 15 minutes or so between McDonald and Urson was definitely a good one. You know what? And folks, that's the type of racing you expect to see on the iRacing service. Guys respectfully racing each other like that. And Dawson, that was a real treat to watch.
Yeah, that was really cool, especially that MX5 battle. You know, it was great. And again, just really love Watkins Glen. Personally, one of my favorites, one of the first tracks I ever learned. So really cool to see good racing around there.
Joseph, thanks for holding down things there in the pits for us today, buddy. But it is time to put a bow on this and wrap it up. And we would like to thank everyone at the Quality Racing Syndicate for organizing this series and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. We'd also like to say thanks to the software and hardware that we use for our broadcast that you can see on our screen now. And folks, remember, the original music that gives every GSRC production that unique flavor and feel is thanks to Erica Colm and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them. Now, the Asbury Motorsports Car Challenge Series returns Saturday, February the 10th from Circuit Park Zandvoort in the Netherlands. GSRC will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us. For more information about GSRC, your best bet is globalsimracingchannel.com. Subscribe to our YouTube page. You're watching us there now. Do it. Subscribe. Thank you. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook. If you just go over there to Facebook, you type in Global Sim Racing Channel, all one word, you will find us. Dawson, I'm sorry I stole that from you, buddy. Now, listen, on behalf of Dawson, the man you heard working with me today, our director, Joe Peak, Joseph Ringrose, down there on the pit lane for us today, and our camera artist, Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. Now, we're going to lock the gate, run off, and have fun storming the castle for soup. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and I'll see you on the track.